Hello and welcome back to the Magical Lane. I'm your host, Maggie Jane. And today we have another beautiful, very special guest, Kiley Ellis.
Hello.
And I'm so happy to have her here.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to be here.
The time that we met was insane. We met once. I keep doing this. One of my first guests was like, we met once and here we are.
But I feel like it's kind of important. I feel like we've been watching each other on social media.
Yeah.
It's like businessly, but also morally, we are very aligned. So it's like, I don't feel like I have to have you by my side all the time because we just check in, you know? How are you doing? How's your trip?
Yeah. No, literally. But she is an amazing creative entrepreneur, a jack of all trades. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
So, hi, my name is Kylie Ellis. We actually first met because I was starting up a podcast as well. So that's a little bit more back burner, but I do modeling. I do acting. I do a little bit of singing, songwriting, but I work in nightlife promotions out here in LA. So all your favorite clubs, they know me.
Yes, you do. You should be killing it.
Thank you.
You know, that's actually a really interesting thing for this topic. Today we're speaking on being a high-value woman.
Yes.
And I would love to know, one, just your perspective on what it means to you to be a high-value woman, and two, how does that relate with working in nightlife?
Ooh.
Just diving right into it.
Okay, no, you're right. That's like, I knew this was going to come out too. Now I'm a little nervous. So, okay, a high-value woman to me is more about the energy, how she carries herself and how she carries her presence, right? I think someone who's very emotionally intelligent, emotionally stable, but empathetic with other people can kind of feel, you know, the energy of a crowd, a room, crowd specifically for me. But also someone who's very strong in their presence, in their boundaries, who they are, you know, knowing who they are, you know, not letting anyone else waver or a look or, you know, a comment or anything like that really get to them. But I think overall what makes someone really a high-value woman is the intimacy that they have with themselves, you know, how they see themselves, how they explore themselves and explore their world and their creativity. And, you know, I think the moment you take a woman away from who she is, that's when the value just keeps going lower and lower and lower, low-key.
We start to lose ourselves.
We really do, because we forget, you know, like, where home is, really, you know, always knowing you can come back here. I think in nightlife, it's a little bit harder, right? And it's definitely, you have two separate groups, I would say I do, right? I have my group of girls who I know they're going to come out. They just want to drink. They just want to, you know, they're young, though, you know, they're like 21. They turned 21 last week, and they're like, I want to come out, right?
As they should.
Right? And then I have my other group of ladies who, you know, naturally I want to pursue the other, you know, group to join them at times and stuff. It doesn't always work. Whereas like we more go to like lounges or like the higher end clubs, mainly for networking. And like that's exactly what I do. I get my girls inside, we get a section, we get a drink, and I'm like, go talk. Please go meet people. Because they're so the moment someone gets a drink in the system and they got a little position of power, they love to talk to anyone.
Yeah. That's so true, especially out here.
So it's like, please go network and like get to know these people, because people love to feel important as well. So it's like, find out what they do, you know, talk to them. You never know where you can get your foot in the door. So it's like, I like to be that little bridge for people. Being like, oh, maybe I want to get into modeling. Well, go talk to her, you know, right? Like, go talk to this person.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing to do working in the industry, because it can definitely be very draining, and you can lose yourself so fast and so hard. But so I definitely feel like, I mean, because we met a couple months ago, and I feel like you have a very good, what's the word? Just a good way of keeping yourself grounded. And well, it seems that way.
My presence is very comforting.
I'm curious why you say that.
So it's actually funny, right? The past few months since I've met you to now, that's kind of when I got into promoting and da-da-da-da-da.
Okay.
And really when I started kind of going on a really self-worth journey. That's when I really took a look in the mirror at myself and was like, you're just a ball of fucking anxiety wrapped in flesh, constantly overthinking, but with this mask of everything's good, I got it all together, I don't need anyone, you know, I'm a boss-ass bitch, you know, but actually it was like, no, I'm terrified 24/7.
Yeah, that's so real.
So it's like, and I've always had this very, like, I got it together type of attitude. So whenever I was really shedding all my layers and going still on this self-worth journey, right? I had to really admit that about myself and kind of take off that mask. And since then, still confident 100%, but it's an actual confidence. Actual, like, girl, you do got it. Like, I don't gotta overthink
You've always
it.
got
I do
it.
got it. But I was not back then at all. This is funny.
Maybe I'm just sensing it now. I don't know. Again, we met once. No.
But I was confident that night because I did come up to you.
You did.
Yeah. So
we had
I guess.
such a good conversation.
No, we did. We had such a long conversation too. Yeah. Like everyone else is partying around us, and we're like, yeah.
The synchronicities were crazy.
They were.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah, but no, I feel like I can relate to that a lot. I struggle a lot with anxiety and just overthinking. And I mean, having this topic on being a high value woman, like something just clicked in my mind, like literally 2 days ago about it, because I was not valuing myself. I was not putting myself on that high pedestal of where I belong. And it's showing up a lot in my life and the things that I'm doing and the things that I'm receiving. And I think what was really getting to me was just, I have these goals that I've been wanting to meet, and I'm just like, what beliefs do I have that's keeping me from that? And it's like, I don't value myself.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So you didn't have a moment where you, like, someone else wasn't treating you of your value?
I've had many of those. Many of those.
See, I had a final moment with someone, and they broke it in me.
Got you.
Because it was like I have to value myself because I'm just going to continue to get walked all over. That's what broke it in me.
Yeah. I was having a conversation with my boyfriend, and I was honestly like, I was in like such an anxious.
Boyfriend.
It is. I was in like such an anxious state, just like kind of like expressing how I was feeling, and he listened through the whole conversation, my whole spiel, and then he kind of calmed me down, and then he made me realize that I just didn't value myself, and I'm like, oh. I was like, dang. I was like, so that's where all of this shit that I was coming from. Because, like, everything that I was saying, it was like, I didn't even believe it. And I'm like, why am I even saying this? But it's just coming from anxiety and what I think is right. And then we, like, had that conversation, and bless him. And I'm like, dang.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
So that just, like, I feel like I've been having so many just, like, eye-opening moments over the last couple days.
Oh, my goodness, yes. And you'll see it everywhere, too. Yeah. Like, the moment you just... Because here's my thing, it really is a respect thing. If you don't respect yourself, no one else will. Yeah. And nothing will. We're all just an energy frequency at the end of the day. So, like, to attract a respectable energy frequency, you got to be standing in it, low-key.
No, literally. Absolutely.
It's like, then you're like, oh, well, I'm standing. But it's like, are you actually standing in your self-worth, you know, your self-value? So, like, here's my question for you. How did you know the difference between what your self-worth was at and what you know that you deserved it to be at? What showed the difference between those two things?
I think it was truthfully just the inner beliefs. It's funny because I just kind of realized this. I mean, this all happened a few days ago, but I was just thinking of, like, it's the unhealed inner child. The unhealed inner child that was just, like, especially when it comes to, like, relationships and responsibilities, that's something that I never had, like, good role models around. And so when it comes to those things, it's like I just become a child again. But it's like, I'm a woman, so why can't I show up like that? And why can't I get the results that I really want, and it's because I'm bringing that unhealed child into it, and so that's what I'm getting in return.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like since realizing that, like, I was just like doing, I don't know, I went on a run yesterday and I was journaling and I fixed my resume and just looking in the mirror and I was like, wow. Who's she?
Who's she? It's a different glow.
Yeah.
You know, when you can really kind of meet your inner child where they're at and still show them, like, we got it, though.
Yeah.
You know, you can kind of just, like, guide them a little bit, which is hard, you know. Not a lot of people know how, first of all, to even meet your inner child is a huge step. So if you have done that, congratulations to you. But to then lead your inner child, because you have to admit, you know, I didn't have someone to lead me. I didn't have the role models to lead me, you know. I didn't have that guiding force, so I have to show up for myself. It sucks, because you feel that weight. You know, I didn't have anyone, but thank God you have you, bro.
Yeah, no, literally. I don't know what I'd do without her.
And your significant other. I feel like they helped you open up and see that a lot, too. Like, that support system.
Yeah.
So, that's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Thank
I love
you.
that.
Thank you. What has been that work for you lately? You know, you just gained that real confidence. Yes. So what has that been like?
So mine was a boyfriend, but in the opposite way. It wasn't a good way, right? Where, I had, like, already ideas of, like, you don't respect me. You don't see my value. You don't see my worth. But towards the end of our relationship, I was telling him over and over again, like, you're not hearing me. You're not listening to me. Like, can you just see me? Da-da-da-da-da. And I was saying a prayer. And I was like, God, give me direction. And he goes, God, give us direction. And I went... Whoa. Like, broke down crying, too. Like, was, like, so hurt and in disbelief. Like, that's so disrespectful, right? And it's not as big of a deal now in my head looking back on it, but in the moment, it was like, I feel like I'm worth being like, God, can you give me direction right now? Because I'm the one who needs direction. Yeah. Like, I deserve to be able to do that on my own and still have independence. And that kind of showed me that our relationship was also turning codependent. And I had to look back on my inner child and go, where is this coming from, right? My mom was very codependent on, you know, significant others. And kind of, I always had to take care of myself. So I was always the girl in a relationship, never needed anything. Nothing, I'm good. I'll figure it out, right? And so I'd have partners who would come with nothing and do nothing. Or they would, like, it would be like a transactional everything. Like, oh, I'll do this, but, like, you can't talk. Not hearing anything you're saying. So it's like, but it's like I said, I saw my mom in the relationship she was in. I saw her go through a divorce. I saw her go through a domestic violence situation. And I was all very, very young for this, right? And now I will say, I had an ego as a child, a very high ego, where it's helped my self-worth a little bit, like knowing what I deserve, right? Yeah. Because when I was a child, it was not everything should be all about me, but because nothing was ever about me, it was like, I know I deserve that, always in the back of my head. Like, I deserve all the attention for some reason.
Honestly, I feel like I was the same. Now that you're speaking on it.
And so it's like, I was just, like, not bad because of it, but it'd be like, we'd be having a huge party, right? I go to my room. Now everyone's looking for Kylie. Like, oh, y'all don't want to talk to me? No one will talk to me. I was dramatic, too. Like, a very dramatic kid. Very dramatic kid, right? And so, but when my mom was going through these situations where it was, you know, this man and DV and stuff, right? I, as a young age, saw that wasn't healthy for me to be in. And I was the person who called foster care at 12. And they came and got me the same day. Like, because there was abuse and other things, right? But it was like, I think that's the first time I saw my self-worth. And so that's really when my healing journey started. But it was, like, really this past year. And then being in a relationship with that man and being like, I feel like I'm in a relationship with my mother. Oh. I was like, oh, no, gotta go back to the drawing board. And actually, what led me back here?
No, it's so crazy how, like, if we don't heal from things, they'll just show up in other people continuously, time and time again, literally your entire life.
Yeah.
Until you wake up and realize it, and it's like, oh, let me get something different.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, being able to go back and be like, you know, my inner child, I see you, I hear you. Even if they don't, that means they're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Instead of like, no, I have to prove that I'm deserving of being heard, of deserving of being seen, or deserving of being loved. It's like, someone else is going to just give it to you.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be free.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything for it. That's a hard click.
Yeah.
That is a very hard click. And I feel like that's kind of what traps people inside of relationships or inside of mental agony, right? Of like, I'm never going to get better than this one person or this thing. Yeah. And it's like,
it's awful, just leave. That's like, I know it's so much easier said than done.
Yeah.
But like, what do you think keeps people so stuck and afraid?
Well, like, looking back when I was a child, right, and my mom, it was a mix of things. It's not just one thing, right? So my mom didn't leave because there was a lot of love for that person, A. And we all say, like, there's a lot of love. But, like, imagine, say your dad is an addict, right? You want to see your dad get better, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like the love my mom had for her significant other because of stuff she went through in her childhood, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I'll continue to pour everything out of me.
The trauma bonds.
Yes. Yes, right? And I think we see that in intuitive, like, subconsciously embedded into us of, like, you know, I'm supposed to do anything to make my partner happy, right? And seeing her do that and seeing her give so much just to, like, honestly, hers also was kids. She had 4 kids that she was a single mother for. So it's like financially it was hard too. Yeah. So the financial situation, and then leaving's not always as easy, mostly when domestic violence comes in, you know? Yeah. A lot of women who do leave sadly don't make it. So it's like you have to think of all these options. It's just, it really is low-key hard. Yeah. And, like, completely, like, my mama, if you're watching this, she's very, very strong woman. No, we do not see eye to eye, but very, very strong woman. I will give anyone their props and their flowers for that, right? Yeah. But there has to be that click of, I deserve more, you know? I can't settle for this, because the moment you notice you're settling, you are losing every single time. There'll never be a time you're gonna win.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like one thing that always terrified me. Like, I have always had commitment issues, and I think it definitely came from one, just like being moved around so much as a child. Is like I couldn't really attach myself to anything, so like committing to one thing was like, I haven't even committed to a house that I've lived in. Not that I've, like, it's my choice, but it's like, what is commitment? You know, I'm just gonna fly around everywhere. But I also just, like, the relationships that I were being shown, like, the commitment in those was like, this isn't good, this isn't healthy. So, like, with the commitment that I was shown, it's like, that doesn't look fun.
Yeah.
Like, that's not making you happy. So it's like, let me just avoid it entirely. But now, with the man that I'm with now, it's like, wow. It's like, he's so family oriented and just like fully committed, such a community guy, and I'm like, that's never anything that I've had.
I love that.
Yeah. I love that. When we were having that conversation the other day, I asked him, because he's like, it's so hard to find a woman who wants to like go through all these things with you and like, you know, deal with everything that you're dealing with. And I'm like, well, if you think it's so hard, then why do you want to do this with me? He's like, because you're worth it. And you'll always be worth it. And I was like, wow.
I would have hung up the phone, cried a little bit, and then got it back.
I was like, dang. He's like, no matter how much I believe it, I can't make you believe that. So that's up to you. And then that's when we got into the valuing. And I was like, dang. I was like, I don't even value myself. Yeah.
And he sees, like, the value and the worth in you currently. That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
But I think that's also my little spiritual take. I feel like that's a masculine's point. Like, that's why they're supposed to be there. Is so 100%. The feminine can open up and blossom and really, you know, find who she is, you know. in any way, whether it's a negative way or positive. Like mine was a more negative experience where it's like I have to find it. I can't do this again. Where yours is more of like the softer, which is beautiful, and it's the duality of it is also beautiful because it's like no matter what you're gonna learn. Yeah.
No, literally.
I'm a little bit more hard-headed,
and I think that also like. We attract those experiences.
Yeah. I did not learn any other time. That's why I probably got it the way I did.
See, like, with certain things, I need things, like, in my face. They come in my face, but they're always so, like, soft. And at least, like, recently, it's been, like, very soft, but very, like, in your face. And I'm like, okay, that's how I learn, apparently.
Yeah. Okay, I love that's beautiful, though.
Yeah.
Like, a huge sign.
Yeah.
You're not going to walk into the sign.
Yeah.
But
I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot.
Well, talking about inner child work and stuff like that, what do you do for your inner child? Like, how do you...
I was going to ask you that.
Oh, my goodness.
But I'll answer first. One thing that I love... So many things. To connect with my inner child, writing letters and just trying to speak to her. But I'd say the main thing is just being playful and allowing myself to be silly. I'm a very silly gal. And just embracing that.
Yeah.
And just staying in nature. Like, anytime I go on a hike, I'm, like, jumping around or climbing trees or putting my feet in the grass. I mean, everyone should do that, whether you're a child or not.
Yes. Please go outside and touch grass.
Yeah, no, literally. It'll make you feel better. And recently, I'd say just trying to get more into, like, a creative flow. Not, because I'm so, like, that tiny vision board I showed you, guess how long it took me to do that?
10 hours.
You said 10 hours?
10?
That's a little crazy.
Okay. Maybe.
It was 2 hours.
Okay. That's not bad, though, at all.
It felt like I was like, dang, this is taking forever.
Well, you gotta think, though. That's good. If you actually think about it. Because the universe was making sure you were like, no, I want this. I want this. These are things that are gonna happen in your life.
And I noticed myself, like, avoiding... like, sitting down to do, like, crafts or, like, to do something, because I know in my mind, once I, like, commit to doing something, it's going to take me a while, but it's going to get me the result that I really want, and I think that, like, holds me back in some ways, because I'm like, dang, do I even have the time? Do I have the energy? But it's like, I do. I do. That's just me not valuing my own time and energy.
Yeah. And then usually what I would do is pour my time into something that probably is not benefiting me.
Yeah, like doom scrolling or something.
TikTok time hours. Crazy. No, I love that.
Thank you. What about you?
So, I dance a lot. Since I was a kid, I love, like, performing. I love dancing. I love just... I don't know what it was about, like, as a child, I would just run around the house dancing, listening to music all the time, and I still do it to this day, where I'll start dancing, and mostly working in nightlife, it kind of helps, where I could just
party
all night, right?
Yeah.
I'd say on the other end of that, though, I meditate, like, often. I'll sit and, like, just crisscross applesauce and hold myself, and, you know, I'll allow my inner child to come out. We'll start, you know, doing a little sway like I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And she's stubborn. She's a little bratty. You know, she likes her way, but she is open. She is finally felt safe enough to be like, I can do this. I can da-da-da-da-da.
That's so important.
You know, she was coming out literally on the way here. It was like, what if this is a bad idea? What if we're not supposed to go da-da-da-da? And it's like, low key, it's just that first step that you're scared of. We got it. So we just kept going. Yeah. We didn't even really listen to the thoughts. We just kept going. And then, like, now she's like, okay, it's kind of cool. I like it. But it's such a... I don't know, it's different. And, like, parks, every time I see a park, if I have time, I'm going on the swing. Even if it's, like, 10, 15 minutes. Yeah. I'll hug a tree.
I love that.
You know, like, I'm always looking at, like, there's, like, lizards around where I live a lot. And when I was a kid, I loved insects and bugs. Now as an adult, I don't as much.
Yeah, lizards are fine.
Right? Lizards are great, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I'll sit outside and just watch them for a second, or, like, the birds or something. Because, I don't know. Those are things I love to do as a child, you know? And it allows my inner child to know, like, you know, we could bring some of that with us, but we can't bring everything, you know? So when she has to let go of certain things, it's easier.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So with, like, giving that love to your inner child and making her feel safe, how has that impacted how you value yourself and how you show up now?
Well, like I said, right? I was a ball of anxiety. So my first time meeting you, right, was a event that Alex throws every Thursday. Just chat, no, Alex.
Yeah. They know him as good friends.
Okay.
One of the good friends.
Yes, good friends, right? And he was trying to get me out to go like 3-4 weeks in a row consecutively. And I canceled last minute because my inner child gets scared, right?
Yeah.
But also, like, seeing that value in myself of, like, these are connections. These are not just, like, networking and brand and business, da-da-da-da-da, but these are, like, actual people I know, actual people I love being around, you know, and I care for. It's, like, pouring into you guys does pour into me a lot, you know. You leaving feeling, you know, all happy and excited. You had an amazing night. You probably talked about a lot of things, got a lot of, you know, felt, seen, heard, and felt the whole time, right? And, all the time my inner child would just hold me back from things like that because it's like, that's too intimate. I don't want anyone close, right? I've had to take care of myself for so long. I don't think anyone deserves to be that close to me, truthfully. That's the hardest one to break out. Like, no one deserves to know me now because no one wanted to know me then, right?
Yeah.
It's like, no.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
With, like, the ego, but also, like, valuing.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people can get caught in that. Like, they just get so cocky. Like, I value myself so much, but, like, fuck all you guys.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm very hyper independent. Like, when I'm outside of a relationship, I can fall into codependent tendencies inside a relationship. But then I start getting mad. Like, I'll get mad at myself too.
No, same.
It's like, what are you doing? Go.
Yeah.
But I'm very hyper independent outside. Like, specifically, I would say the past 2 months I've been a little bit more hyper independent. But it's like I already see the effects of that, like, mentally, and how it could affect me long run. Because well, personally, I know, and I could feel whenever, you know, you're bringing back your energy or your time too much to the point you're doom scrolling, or you're in bed way longer than you need to be, right? Or you don't even want to go and start your day. You don't even want to do the things you want to do for yourself. So it's like, no, I can't. My value can't be so high where I don't think anyone deserves me, because then I'm just gonna stay in bed all day and not do anything, right? But my value also can't be so low that I don't think I deserve anything, because then I'm not even going to have any time to sit in bed and rot on a day that maybe I need to.
Yeah.
So it's like, finding that balance is honestly not fun.
No, I'm in that like that exact thing I'm in right now. It's so funny. Because I've only been in LA for 6 months. And so, like, when I first came out here, it was, like, events, party, like, hikes, group hikes, all group activities every day of the week. And it was so fun. And then I got to a point, I was like, oh, I don't want to see anybody right now. Like, I was like, I need to pull back my energy. I need to take, like, just be more selfish with my time.
Yeah.
And then that's when I went to Costa Rica. And I was just like, okay, give me some, like, answers. And it was so funny because I've been reflecting on this specific thing a lot. When I was there, it was a conscious creator spiritual retreat. And in one of the workshops that one of the girls was doing, who was attending the retreat, she is a channeler, and just she was doing, like, a guided channel and message for everybody. The whole group, I'm the only one she, like, individually called out, and she was like, you need to stop suffering in silence. And I was like, you had to say that in front of everybody? And this is what I mean by, like, the in-your-face, gentle things from the universe. Like, that is so harsh to hear, but she said it in such, like, a oh, I'm just doing like a channel, but I'm going to look directly at you and say this. And then I'm going to go right back to what I was saying. And I'm like, just stab me in the heart. Like,
I love that. Oh my gosh, no.
But I needed to hear that. And so when I came back, it was like, okay, I know I can't keep all of my time to myself because I don't want that. I love people. I'm a very outgoing and expressive person. But it was like, I also need to be very intentional with my time and who I'm spending my time with, just like where I'm going. So I'm like, I mean, I got back at the end of April and I've been like easing back into things, and I still haven't been going to many events, but it's been really nice just trying to find that balance. And I feel like taking that time to myself and just like being more intentional is really what's getting me there.
No, 100%. I believe no is the scariest and best word to ever exist, right? Because we hate being told no. So naturally we hate telling other people no because it triggers our own, little wounds. But it's such a powerful word. Like being able to be like, no, I won't do that. No, I don't have time. Like there's been days where I'm just like, I have nothing to do. Someone hits me up and it'll be like my one day off in like 10 days. And someone's like, hey, you want to go do this? And I'm like, no.
You have to.
Like, you just get so drained, too. And people don't realize how much they are asking from you, right? Because, no offense, we're all a little narcissistic, so we don't think about other people in their life. I'm not like, oh, Maggie and her boyfriend. I'm like, oh, I'm here with Maggie. Right? So it's like, you're not thinking of anyone else, right? So whenever I'm taking your time for, this hour, 2 hours, right? You could be having someone else needs your time in this time, and then someone else needs your time in this time, and someone else needs your time in this time. No one really understands how much that stacks up. And part of being a high-value woman is having really good time management and being able to control your own tempo and control your own pace, because there's times where you're going to naturally want to slow down, You're going to want to, okay, I need to withdraw a little bit and retreat and really figure out what I'm doing and where I'm going and how to do all this, right? And then there's other times where, currently where I'm at, where it's like, okay, we're in a momentum spot, keep going. Don't stop. Go as far as you can, because you can slow down once you get as far as you want, right? It's like I'm at the sprint right now. So it's a little different, but it's so beautiful. It's so fun.
I love that. I love that you're experiencing that and just having that time with yourself.
Thank you.
I also feel like it goes with like our cycles too. I'm in that phase as well of like, all right, momentum, and then like our time to slow down. It's like we're literally bleeding. Like, your body's like, you're gonna slow down whether you want to or not.
You know what's funny? Mine's not my bleeding phase that I'm
really?
Tired. No, I have the most energy during that phase.
Interesting.
That's when I'm doing like, I think, when was I bleeding last? I was bleeding like 2 weeks ago, and I had event day after day after day after day after day after day. It was like a Wednesday to Monday type of thing, right? And what was it? I think like that Saturday, someone was like, do you also want to do this event earlier in the day? And I was like, let's do it. They're like, then that Sunday, they were like, do you want to do this event earlier in the day? And it was like, I had the energy and time to do all those. When I'm like, no, I'm not, is my luteal, whatever that little phase is, where like, I just hate the world and I hate everyone, it's like, okay, I'm going to be locked up for, it's like the week before my period.
Okay.
I can't be around people for that one.
I feel the same. Like that phase and then like maybe the first 2 days of the cycle.
My cycle's not usually too bad. And I've definitely balanced that out throughout the years. It used to be really bad and inconsistent and, it'd be like, hey, you're not going to have a period for 3 months. And it's like, I know I'm not pregnant because I'm 15.
Hey,
I don't know what y'all do. But it's also like as I, got older, I noticed a lot of it was like the foods I was eating, the not moving, or I would also overly work out. Like I was in track and cheer and I would still work out on the outside of that too. So it was like I was constantly putting my body under pressure. My sleep schedule was bad. Like all these things go into being a high value woman. It's low key too. Like
100%.
once you can see like, oh, I need to sleep.
like, wow, I can actually wake up not tired.
Not still tired today? Wow, great.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. And I definitely think everyone's, their little cycles are different. Because there probably is some, like, a lot of moms can just go.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. It's all about just listening to your body.
Yeah.
For sure. Because, like, every woman's different. Everyone's cycle is different.
Mm-hmm.
Mine used to be really bad as well. It was like, I'm going to go cry all week and be in pain. But now it's like, I barely know that it's there.
Mm-hmm.
I tell myself that I'm so awful at being, like, a girl when it comes to that. Because, like, when I say it's like, oh, it's not even there. Sometimes I'll forget to, like, even do what I need to do. And I'm like, oh, dang.
No. If I'm, like, the first day of my period, I am very intentional about that day. Because I don't like pads and products and all that. I'm very much so a free bleeder. I prefer to free bleed. So that first day, it's usually the heaviest for me, and then it gets really light. So I usually, like, stay home, or I'll go on a hike or something like that. Like, I'll make it where it's very, like, a low-key day. Yeah. So, like, I could just bleed everywhere if I really wanted
I love that. Okay, I want to talk about this.
Okay, yes, no, please. Because I started this, like a year ago. But I started really doing it.
What do you use? Do you use, like, period underwear or?
So yeah, I'll get the little, I call my little diaper because why not? And I'll just like I'll put on sweats. I'll put on like I don't care, or just like a big tee.
Yeah.
If I'm home alone, I'll put like just a towel under me. And if I'm just like laying down, like say I'm just want a heating pad and to watch a movie, I'll just put a towel under me because I can easily clean it up. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
No one else is using my towel.
No,
And like, but yeah, mostly when I'm out, it's the period underwear. I'm in the club in period underwear.
I love that. Do you ever use any products or no?
I try not to. No. I was using Diva Cup beforehand, which...
Okay. I've never tried that.
I like it, but I don't like it.
I'm terrified of it, truthfully.
Well, I just noticed it... For me, it's like it won't allow like everything to just flow. So it's like I'm pulling it out, and why has it got so much in it? I don't like that.
Yeah.
So it's like I'd rather it just all flow out how it's kind of supposed to.
Yeah, I don't think it's meant to sit in there either. And like I think that's like a big thing with the products is like we're not supposed to have anything in there unless it's.
Please free bleed. Hashtag free bleed.
Hashtag free bleed.
I think it just should be more like normalized too.
Yeah.
I think you never know when your period's gonna start. I feel like that would take a lot of like the shame, the fear, the confusion around like, when it first starts and you're like, oh my god, I need it. It's like, no, you shouldn't be. It should, damn.
I'm gonna get some because like I hate it. I like stopped using tampons unless it's like I'm going like swimming or like I absolutely. But like, there's never a time we absolutely need it. We just convince ourselves that. But I'm like, yeah, I need to get some.
I will say this about free bleeding though: you are going to learn your body so much more. I'm not kidding. So like. When you wear, like, pads and stuff, like, the feeling of it when some blood comes out, right?
Yeah.
You feel it.
Yeah.
You'll know ahead of time when it's going to happen. So, like, there'll be mornings I won't bleed at all at night, and I'll wake up in the morning, and I'll go, and I'll go straight to the restroom, and it will all just naturally come out while I'm using the restroom, and then I can go about my day. And you'll, like, know intuitively, oh, I'm about to bleed again. Is there a restroom around? Do I need one? And it'll all just like kind of happen. So it is funny when people first start that. And like when they first start noticing that. When I first noticed it, I was like, is this normal? Like, am I too in touch with my body in this way? But then like after doing a lot of research and like it is a very like common thing to just be able to be like, no, yeah, I can just wear nothing and go to the restroom because I know when it's gonna happen. It's like, I don't know if I'd ever trust myself that much. But
yeah.
I hope to.
Yeah. I think you'll get there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I can definitely, like, on, like, the first day, I always know. And it was so, because, like, the last time it happened, it usually comes in the morning. So, like, as soon as I get up and go to the bathroom, that's when it starts.
Not too.
And, like, that day, I laid in bed extra long, and I'm like, thank you for not starting until I actually got up and went to the bathroom.
Oh, I love
I was like,
that.
because I was in bed until like 10. And I'm like, you literally could have started. Because usually around 7 a.m. is when it'll start. 7 a.m.
Time and everything.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
No. Mine's weird. Sometimes it'll come a little early or a little late. It's just, I never know. But I always know because I'm never in a good mood the day before.
Yeah. No, I'll get cramps usually like the day before it starts and then maybe the first day. I love that we're diving like
I know, right?
Whole thing.
Like,
it's great
No,
though.
it's beautiful actually.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And it's so, one thing I don't like about my period is when I am like in my like heavy phases, I'm bleeding so much at like 4 a.m. Like, I'll literally have to get up at 4 or 5 a.m. to go change my pad because I'm, like, bleeding through the entire thing.
See, I've never been someone to bleed through it at all.
Bled through so much. One of my most traumatizing stories, I was on a school field trip. I had just started my period that morning, and we were at, like, go-kart place, and I was wearing, like, some light jean shorts, like, kind of like this color, and I think I had a pad on, and I knew it was heavy. I may have had a tampon in as well, but I think it was just a pad, and I'm, like, just, like, stretching on the bars, and, like, this girl comes up, she's like, hey, you have a lot of blood right there. I was like, fuck. It was, like, all on my shorts. Even, like, I had, like, a longer shirt on. It got on the back of my shirt. I wasn't sitting.
How do you bleed that much?
I don't know. I've always bled so much.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I was like, dang. So I was like, I have to change shorts. Thankfully, one of the other girls had a tampon. This was like 7th grade.
That's insane.
7th grade. But I'm like, people are like, oh, you have a stain on your shirt. I'm like, yeah, it's juice or something. But it's like on the back of my shirt.
Oh.
I'm like, I don't even know how that happened.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
It's so saddening. I was
like, dang.
Yeah.
It's tough.
That would be
it's
insane.
like, I should have put the tampon in too.
I think I low-key manifest the lighter period. Because when I was a kid, I'd always be like, I'm going to have a lighter period. I'm never going to have to worry.
Mine was awful. Maybe I did that to myself. Don't know what conversations I was having about it, but fuck.
I was so excited to get my period too.
Really?
Yeah. That's when I was like, okay, I'm a real woman now. And I think I was like 9. So I'm not a real anything. I can't even drive. Like,
I love how that depicts.
Right? Definitely thought that I was a woman because I got my period. And then I was at my grandma's when it happened. And my mom came and picked me up. And she was like showing me how to use a pad. And she's like, can we go to bed now?
Can we go to bed?
I was like, why? Like, this is terrifying, low-key.
It is.
But, no, yeah, let's remove all shame and guilt surrounding periods.
Yeah. Free bleed.
Free bleed.
I saw this blanket you can get that's, like, made. It's like the period underwear, but it's a blanket.
Oh. There's also, I've seen people do this. They'll put, like, a puppy pad underneath them. Like, or even, like, underneath their sheet. Yeah. So they could sleep on their sheet. I've never done that.
Let's just, like, change all the interiors of buildings. Let's just free bleed everyone. The carpet will just soak it up for you.
Right? Oh, my gosh. That would be insane. Well, technically it would. Already.
Yeah. But it won't stain it.
No, yes. Not staining it would be great.
Yeah. Or it'll, like, spread it out and change the color of the whole carpet. We're getting creative over here.
It's like the thermal rod.
If you want to invest in that, I support.
I'd have a thermal period rug.
That's so funny. Yeah?
But it could only, like, thermatize itself when the period...
I support it. I always wanted to be an inventor of something.
Literally, entrepreneur.
Creative entrepreneur.
It was creative.
No, that's so funny. That's
oh my
so
goodness.
Funny. And that all goes into just valuing yourself and wanting to even know your body that much.
No,
it's so important.
Absolutely. I think that is also a very taboo topic when it comes to women and like knowing their body and, you know, exploring themselves, which we can 100% go into because I don't believe in taboo topics. Me either. But I do believe like we said earlier, being a high value woman, you have to know yourself, and you don't know yourself if you don't know your body. I know almost everything about my body. I can tell you exactly what to touch to do what I like, what I don't like, where is it at. I'm still learning it too, right? I'm still exploring a lot of things. I feel like there's a lot of shame around that exploration, even if it is with self, you know, and it should not be that way. That is 100%. I don't know how to really actually approach that. That's weird.
Like in conversation.
Yeah. Being, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, there is definitely a lot of shame around knowing specifically what you want. And I think that's crazy. And I want to know, like, what your opinion is on where that came from.
Well, like I said earlier, like, I grew up around a very codependent mom who would, you know, I don't need anything, let me take care of you. Very almost servant mindset, you know, very slave mentality mindset, right? Yeah. I believe low-key a lot of women have that mindset. And it sucks. We have been taught to, you know, downplay our pleasure, downplay things we want in order to provide comfortability for other people where they're at. You don't grow in comfortability. That's just how I see it, right? I'd rather make you uncomfortable and know that, like, something better coming along. That's how I see it now, right? Like, something better always comes along if it's not what you wanted, right? Then to not have any pleasure or have any fun or to enjoy things. Have you ever had sex and not enjoyed it at all?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes.
It's not worth it.
Low key. It's not.
So it's like that, to be able to like speak out about things you want or to like even express yourself and stuff like that. Yeah, you know, definitely have like a little intimate conversation. Yeah. It's a little bit harder for people, but I feel like it's so important. And I feel like I said, I definitely think it's come from just years and years and years of seeing parents do it, you know, seeing our moms do it, you know, our aunts, our grandmas, seeing everyone do it kind of. Yeah. And all the ways they did it, I feel like it's just probably subconsciously programmed a lot of people to just have that mindset of like, I don't need to, like, pleasure's not good for me, right? I also think that even we could go a little deeper than that. We could hit that little Bible book and we could talk about, you know, all the times that like pleasure is brought up and how looked down upon and frowned upon it is in Christianity and other religions, which, you know, it's their way of control, low-key. But that's just 100%. I think
100%. No, I was gonna say, like, I feel like society has pushed us to believe that knowing what you want and what you like is masculine.
Yeah, that's like the main thing to do.
Yeah. But it's like, I'm a woman and I know what I want and what I like, and that's okay.
Yeah, I also think the, like, societal standard of, like, even, like, a woman never knows where she wants to eat. Like, it's just, like, a woman never knows. Like, they just push that a lot.
We really know so much.
Like, I know where I want to eat.
Yeah, we're just letting you try to figure it out.
I'm being nice, and you're getting mad at me for being nice.
That part.
And I think that is, like, kind of, I feel like that is also something that can make you a high-value woman, is seeing men communicate so much differently than women do, and they, they react to things so much differently. So, like, when we're being nice, right, like, I could be, hey, how you doing, right? A man could be like, oh, she flirting with me, she want me. No. And, like, in my head, I'm like, No.
Just trying to not be a bitch today.
But when you are like you don't say anything, you are kind of seen as a bitch, right? You have to not allow mostly male opinions to get to you at any point, because you can reject a man and all of a sudden you're a slut, you're a hoe, da 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 da. So it's like, just please find that internal validation and that gratification, because people will just flip depending on how they feel that day.
Yeah. Now that we're speaking on it, I feel like the fear of like expressing what you want and what you like is truthfully a fear of just not like needing men anymore. Not entirely, but like with all of the relationships that we've gone through that were just not needed. It's because you just weren't expressing what you wanted, truthfully, or what you liked. 100%. You were just settling for what they wanted and what they liked. Mm-hmm. But like, if you just own that, that's gonna attract the high value man as well.
That's kind of where I'm at right now. I feel like you kind of found your little high value man. I feel like that's kind of what I just hit, where it's like, I notice if I'm like, okay, I settle for this thing I don't really like, okay, then I'm going to continue to get it. And I'm going to get it, and I'm going to get it, and then I'm going to break, and I'm not going to like it anymore, you know? It's like, knowing what you want and what your standard is, that means you can't settle for anything underneath it because it's not hitting your standard, right? But to be a high value woman, you kind of have to have a high value man. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. They have to go together,
or they will drag you down.
Yeah, but no, you don't really need a man. No. I feel like that is something, when you feel more high value, you notice you don't need a man. Like, I can provide for myself. I can do these things for myself. It's easier.
You choose to have a man.
Yeah. It's easier having a man around. Yeah. But if I have a man, he's going to be very generous.
Yeah. It's fun to have a man around.
Yeah. It's exciting.
We love excitement. No, it's so funny. One thing I always look back on is when Cher, she was in an interview, and I think she was talking about her mom. Her mom was asking her, when are you going to find yourself a rich man? And she was like, Mom, I am a rich man.
Yes. Like, period. Yes. No, but that's really how it should be. It really should be like, if your partner's not really adding anything into your life, your partner should not be there, low-key. Yeah. And I hate to say it like that, because that maybe, someone gonna take that the wrong way.
Well, fuck
but
them,
also, too heavy on that one. But also, it's like, you have to be bringing some sort of consistent value into my life for me to want you. Because I know if you're not bringing any value into my life, say I'm having an off day and like, yo, I need someone to pick me up. And you're just like, it's like, what are you doing?
No, literally. That switch.
Like, I feel that switch though so deep inside of my soul when I'm saying that. Like, no one, if they're like, so genuinely, if they're not providing something, whether it is, just boosting, like minimum is boosting you up. Your partner, you should want to not put them on a pedestal, but elevate them constantly, My partner, I'm always like, oh, you love this connection. Like, please meet this person, da-da-da-da-da. It's like, those things are like kind of the minimum, low-key, sadly. Sorry, chat. If someone's not doing that for you, the minimum, I don't think they should be there. I don't think that you should settle for that. I don't think that it should be like, at least someone's here for me. Someone loves me. Someone sees me. Someone cares for me.
What about you?
Yeah.
You love you.
Right?
You see you.
And like, fully understandable, because that's not enough at times. Yeah. When you're in a like very unhealed child area, that's not enough. You want that romantic love. You want that, platonic love. It's sad to admit, though, you're probably going to be the reason for the demise of it because you're not healed. Someone perfect comes to you, you're going to fuck them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've had to admit that about myself before. Been like, I can't date. Like, currently, I don't want to date anyone right now.
Yeah.
Because my situation I just left, if I jump into one right now, I'm just going to hurt the other person.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a downfall for the both of us. So it's like,
unless they're just that one that sees it and is like, you know what, I see that hurt, but like, let's think like this.
And it would be such a slow burn, a beautiful slow burn. It would have to be. I couldn't just jump into anything.
No. I don't think we ever should with anything.
No. I definitely do have a very, like, you only live once mentality, too.
Same.
So it's like, I'll go on a date with you. Like, we can hang out, da-da-da-da-da. But it's like, I'm very honest. Like, I'm not looking for anything right now. I don't technically want anything right now. Yeah. I don't need anything.
Yeah. That's how mine started, too.
It's funny because I am, like, kind of flirting with this one guy. But high value man. And he's older. But
yeah.
So I feel like that's why. But it's still like, no, I don't, and as also I have in my mindset now, after my past relationship, is like, I don't ever want to need someone.
No.
I don't even know if I want to want someone, truthfully, at this point.
If he wants you, he'll pursue you.
Yeah. Like crazy.
Yeah.
I can just continue to do what I'm doing in my life.
Yeah.
And, you know.
I'm on like a big spiel of bringing back courting. Let men court us.
Yes. Oh my God, I went on a date recently, and he was like, I'll meet you there. No, we're not going now. We're just not going. You're picking me up. You're opening the door whenever I walk out to the car. You're telling me how amazing I look.
Yeah.
And you're giving me flowers.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like those are, like, the minimum. Like, because after then, the date could be anything, right? Like, absolutely anything. Yeah. I'm the type of person, we can go walk on the beach. We can go on a hike. Like, those first few moments, though, like, that's when you're supposed to feel seen. Yeah. Like, you know, you're supposed to feel loved and taken care of. And people don't want to do that anymore. Mm-mm. They be sending the, you know, what you on today? I'm not on nothing.
And I feel like all of that, I feel like, truthfully, women, like, as much as men are in power, I feel like women really guide how men act. Yeah. Because if we value ourselves more, they have to step up.
Oh, y'all gonna love this conversation.
To survive.
Yes.
Like,
the moment a woman heightens her self-worth, a man will either heighten his self-worth and he'll meet her where he's at, or he will go for someone who's less than. Yeah. So it's easier to take care of. Yeah. If all women in America just heighten their self-worth a little bit, oh, baby, these men would not know how to act. No. And I'm a firm believer in that. And we can get into the more spiritual stuff of everything. But I fully believe that a woman is actually the leader. I believe she leads in the 5D and 4D through the mental and the emotional and the spiritual, very psychically aware. Yeah. And that's why women have the female intuition and the trust and the sacral and the womb. Yeah. And I believe that the man is more of just the protector and the provider for out here. Yeah. Like I said. And then we can see so many, you know, stay-at-home mothers who've been able to stay at home, and then, like, they're able to pour into their creativity, and they get to make millions and take care of their family. Yeah. Because they had a man who, you know, was the protector, the provider, the things people really want them to be, you know? Yeah. I believe it was always supposed to be that way, and it was never supposed to be a thing of, like, men are better than women or women are better than men. I think just naturally God put us on here to do certain things, and that we have... the devil has kind of turned our eyes away from what it's really supposed to be and turned it the complete opposite way. And has won up until this point, I feel like. But I feel like so many women are waking up. Like, us even having this conversation is a trickle effect, I feel like. So
absolutely. I feel like it's funny because I've been speaking on this a lot. I mean, because I'm experiencing it fully, but I feel like a man's nature is to lead, and women, we're to guide. We're teachers and nurturers. Like,
I'm not leading us through a crowd of people, but I'm going to tell you exactly where we need to go that way. Yeah. Take me.
You got and then we'll follow her around like we don't know anything.
Yeah, right? Like, no, yeah. And I feel like also, like, women, we're supposed to be guiding a lot of these men emotionally. You know, meeting... A lot of these men are too scared to even meet their own inner child, right? I feel like, personally, I've been a lot of the crack for a lot of the men who I've dated or I've talked to in my life, of like them finally seeing their inner child and feeling their inner child is safe enough to be held or seen and stuff. And I feel like Erica Badu a little bit. You know how like men are always changed when they break up with her and they're like, you know, I'll be better this time. But it is, I think that's a part of our guiding and our leading. And I feel like women guiding in that way helps men lead so much better because they're also dealing with their wounds they have to deal with. You know what I mean? But you also can't do the work for other people, so.
Yeah. No, it's so crazy. Because, like, the more you wake up and realize and accept that you being high value is going to create the whole life that you want. It's going to give you the people that you want in your life, the relationships that you want, the work and creativity that you want. Like, it's in our power to do that, man or woman, but we're here to speak on women.
Yeah, right.
Just, like, really owning that. And I feel like, I mean, for so long I was afraid to really know what I want and express what I want and really go after it, because it's like, well, I've never had somebody in my life doing the same thing, at least like close around me. And like with social media, it's super easy to like really expand like all the possibilities. Like people are doing crazy ass things, making millions, and I'm like, okay, let me just step it up. And I was just listening. Do you listen to a podcast called Hindsight?
I have before. I haven't been recently, though.
I love it.
The tea.
I love it. I was listening to an episode he did the other day, because he's been putting out episodes like almost every single day, just like literally 5 to 20 minute episodes, and I'm like, slay. But he was speaking on just value and how he wasn't even valuing himself, and one of his friends was an artist, or either it was a friend or just somebody he saw who just painted like a circle on a painting and then sold it for so much money. And he was deciphering between what he should price his work and like his, because he's a digital artist and videographer and all the things, and he was asking like ChatGPT, like what should this price be for what I'm offering, and it like gave him a number, and that made him feel uncomfortable. And then he asked his friend the same thing, and he gave him the exact same number that ChatGPT gave him, and so that made him like be like, oh. And then there's this guy over here just painting circles, making thousands and millions, and that's just because of how we value ourselves. And it's so crazy.
No, I love that. That reminds me a lot of, I don't know exactly who did this study. I don't know if it was like Harvard or something else. But you know how like fleas can jump super crazy high, right? Yeah. And I actually used this analogy in my life recently about work. But they took a whole bunch of fleas, right? And they put them in like this little shoebox. And they kept them in the shoebox for like 3 months, right? And then they took them out of the shoebox, and they noticed that the fleas inside of the shoebox could only jump a certain amount, because they had been conditioned over time to only jump that high. And it was really hard to break them from that conditioning. Yeah. That box is our limiting beliefs. They are what other people say about us that we agree to. Because for you to carry a belief about yourself, you have to agree to it to a certain degree. Whether it's, you know, what horrible thing this must be. I'll never be good enough, right? It's usually because no one ever told you you'll never be good enough. But you decoded someone else's actions as you are not valuable enough, you are not good enough, you're not deserving enough, right? That's the top of your shoebox. When you take off that shoebox, you're still not going to be able to jump too high at first, because there's still those beliefs there. There's still all of those things. Even if you're not completely in the box anymore, there still feels like those physical limitations are there. Yeah. So then when we get on social media and we see all these people do all these amazing things, it's so easy to compare ourselves and be like, you know, you're doing amazing things, but were they ever in that shoebox? Yeah. Did they come from that same shoebox, or were they one of the fleas that always was just hopping and popping and jumping around? Yeah. You know? And
I love that.
I think one of the most beautiful things about this is where people really learn what their value is, because you get to show yourself compassion and self-compassion and empathy, and being like, yo, I was in a shoebox. Low key, right? I was just in a shoebox for 20 years of my life.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be easy right now. It's, I'm not going to do it. I'm not always going to see value in myself, and someone else is going to see it.
Yeah. Do
I always run with what someone else sees? No. But do I definitely reflect on that and go, where am I not, am I thinking that I'm enough? Do I think I'm enough? And if you don't, why? Who taught you that? Why did you agree to that? Why do you still agree to that? Even if you believed it when you were 10 years old, why are you still believing it at 22, 21, ages above?
Yeah. And I feel like one of the hardest things with that is not only are you in that shoebox, but your whole family's probably in the shoebox with you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's, one of the hardest and scariest things, because it's like, well, if I leave this shoebox and then they decide to never leave, then I'm going to be jumping around, flying around the world, and they're still going to be in a shoebox until I come and, take the lid off. And then some of them might be like, put it back on. Mm-hmm. I don't want the lid off.
See, and that's what sucks, because, I feel like every time you go through an upgrade, we'll call it an upgrade for now, right? You get out of the shoebox, you have to lose something. Yeah. And usually it's people. Mm. For me, a lot of my life, it's been people, friends, you know.
Same.
And it's hard. It is hard. Having to say goodbye to people you love and you care about, because they don't want to come. But it's, at the end of the day, I am blessed here to live my life. Yeah. And you're blessed here to live your life. And I'm sorry you want to stay in that shoebox, but I cannot stay with you. Yeah. I see better for myself. And sometimes, it sucks to say now, but sometimes that just saying you see better for yourself and you're going to do it, and you going out there and taking the shoebox lid off and actually doing it, wakes up someone else, right? Yeah. Like me, when I first came out to California, my mom was like, no one else in my family has ever moved out of the state of Oklahoma. So it was a huge thing. She was very upset with me, very mad at me, and we didn't speak for a year afterwards because of it. Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. No offense. When I said I'm stubborn, you're stubborn, right? You yell at me in a way I don't like, I'll not speak to you for a while. But then I was recently on the phone with my mom, and she's like, it's crazy. You really did just make it. You just kept doing it. And I was like, I had to. I had no one. Yeah. I had to lean on something, and it was a dream, a hope, an aspiration, Yeah. It was the, there's a whole life outside of this box I've been in for so long. Let me go grab it. Someone's got to grab it,
Absolutely. And that goes into breaking generational trauma and wounds and all of that. Somebody has to do it. Otherwise, the whole family's going to stay in that shoebox.
Yep. Yes. And it's weird, right? Like I said, I'm out here, and my sister's she's still in Oklahoma, right? But I don't see her staying there long either. So it's when you're the first one, it has a domino effect, and it may take a while to see that domino effect, but when you slowly start to see everything, it really is beautiful. Really is beautiful. Yeah.
One of the greatest things that I needed to hear was when I was in Costa Rica, and this beautiful woman named India, she was guiding our cacao ceremony, and so my whole intention for that retreat was just connecting more to my feminine and kind of understanding why and how I was still limiting myself. And during the cacao ceremony, we just drank the cacao, and then we laid down, and she's doing her music and telling us a story and singing and chanting, and it was phenomenal. And I just got so tight in my stomach, and I was just thinking of my mom and my sister and all of that. And then I something in me was just get up, and just I didn't get fully up, but I just got on my knees, and she was just dance and just flow and connect to your body. And I know I was the only one. Everyone else is still laying down, but I just kept my eyes closed. I know this one was smiling at me, but it was so beautiful. And then I went and asked her, And I told her, I was like, this is like what I was feeling, this is what I was thinking, and I told her, I was just like, it sucks that I have to accept that my mom and my sister and my family may never like reach their full potential in this life, and they may never like break out of their mindset that they're in. And she was just like, and that's okay, because all the work that you're doing now is creating the ripple effects. So even if they don't get to that in this lifetime, you're setting them free for their time beyond. Like, you're creating ripple effects forward and backwards for those who are going to pass and those who are going to come. And I was like, dang, I needed to hear that. And then she gave me a feather, and I was like, wow.
I love that. That's a beautiful way to tie that little message all together.
That's amazing. Powerful.
It's sad though. You having to be like, oh, these people can't come with me.
Yeah.
You know, they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
But it's, like I said, I fully believe that is the divine's way of protection, you know. It's, we see it all the time in celebrities and people who get like a whole bunch of whatever, abundance, and you just see people around them just drain them. Mentally, emotionally, physically, you know. So it's, maybe it even is your protection for right now, you know. But also, you made it out that box.
Yeah.
You made it out the box.
Yeah, we both did.
We both did.
Fuck that box.
Came to California with nothing but a dream and a plan.
No, barely even a plan. Just a dream.
No, yeah, really just a dream. No plan. I see. But that's my thing, is if I have too much of a plan in order, I'll stress about the plan being perfect. Yeah. And stress, I feel like, it's the easiest way to take me out of my value. Is the moment I start getting stressed out.
Yeah. Frustrated.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't do any of that.
Yeah. I got asked a question recently, and it was, I want to ask you, at what point does good Kylie end and bad Kylie begin? What triggers that?
Good Kylie and bad Kylie. So are we talking about like what other people may perceive as bad?
Your self-destruction.
My self-destruction.
Yeah. My answer to that was when I feel defeated.
Your self-destruction. Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I don't think I have an exact self-destruction. I think I have what I like to call my Kylie force, which is where I feel like I have a very Kylie energy, and I'll rip up everything because I'll notice it was very false, and I'll completely rebuild it. So like I did that with work recently, where I have a work relationship with someone who I've had a lot of resentment just building up for the past while because of other things they have done, right? To the point it was just almost not bearable. And we were having a conversation, and he said something about like, you're very disrespectful at times. And I was actually being really nice in this situation too. And so I just loaded everything on him, all the ways he was disrespectful. And I see that as destructive, right? Very self-destructive. This is my boss I'm talking to, by the way. So it's like very self-destructive. But in my head, it's still very valid because it's a foundation I don't need anymore. Yeah. And it was a relationship who I should have already been walked away from, but I didn't take my first, second, or third chance. So I had to create my own. Yeah. and I did. Yeah. So I think it's respect. I think that is what can bring out the bad Kylie. I don't think I destruct in any other ways. I don't really allow myself to doom scroll because it's like I'll maybe for that hour, and then I'm like, okay, I have to do something else. I have to go do something. Yeah. Like I can't. So I feel like that's the ways I'm most destructive is I'll notice someone's not meant to be there, and it's like, okay, here's everything and how I feel. Yeah. Bye. Yeah.
Bye. Do you ever speak to them again?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like the boss, right? I saw him yesterday, and I went up to him and I said hello, and I expressed, I think we're going to be so much better off as friends. I was like, but business-wise, I feel like you've just messed me over too many times. It's not worth it to me. Yeah. You know? And that's also a part of seeing your worth, is knowing when to walk away, knowing that something doesn't serve you anymore, and no offense, when you're staying stuck in something that doesn't serve you, you stay stagnant.
Yeah.
It's not fun. So it was very, very stagnant for a moment. And I was like, girl, can't do that no more.
Yeah, that's how I felt a lot last year.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I was physically moving around a lot, but I felt very stagnant. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, I need to get to LA. And it has not been stagnant at all. And I don't think it ever will.
No. Oh my god. See, it's such a fast, like a fast city, but I feel like you have more like, you do more of the day stuff. You're more in like the daytime. I feel like when you start, like me personally, the day and the night stuff, it makes LA not feel as fast as I am at times. Because it's like doing this and then doing that and running to this thing and this thing and this thing. I feel like I'm even moving faster than the city at times. But I feel like I love LA. LA's home, but maybe it's not home forever. Just because of that fast-paced mentality I've been in right now. Yeah. Which is why I moved here at first, because I was like, Oklahoma's slow.
Yeah. Anything in the Midwest, slow.
The fastest thing you're going to see there is a horse. Like,
that's when it's not eating grass. Hooray.
And getting a horse to move, when you just want it to move, you're not riding it.
Yeah.
No.
Literally.
So it's like, but yeah, LA's fast. But I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think it's important for, like, a certain part of your life. Like, if you're always too slow, it's like, what are you doing? But if you're always too fast, it's like, take a breath.
No, breathe every once in a while. I definitely think LA shapes people. Absolutely. Mostly when it comes to their value. You kind of
sink or swim.
Yeah.
So fast.
Literally. And you will watch other, like, people who you care about drown. Yeah. Because they can't swim hard enough. Yeah. But.
Or they're just swimming in the wrong direction.
Going.
Yeah. It's like, go up.
Go up. Go down. Don't go down.
Yeah. No, I love it, though, because it really, like, I knew coming here that it was going to force me to grow in a lot, but I was like, I want it. I want it all. Whatever it brings, I have no idea, but I know it's going to bring growth. Yeah.
See, I had rose-colored glasses on when I first came here. Not like, I wouldn't say, I guess I had a very optimistic mindset about it. It was like, I knew I was going to grow and I was going to change, but it was like, I'm just going to find me. That's all that matters, really. If I go there and I find who I am,
and you're
that's
doing
what
it.
I want. And yeah, and I found me and like parts of myself that maybe I don't really like, and I found parts of myself I really like and I want to enhance. Yeah. And I have found out why I have all those parts of me, and I think that's beautiful. There's so many people here in LA. There's so many people to be. At least be yourself.
Yeah. Nobody else can.
We need more originality sometimes here.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. What boundaries do you set to ensure people are respecting you now?
So a lot of boundaries. The biggest boundary I can give people is to just give them nothing. Someone's not being very respectful to me or not, I ignore them. Literally. I've had people talk to me and me be like, because you're not talking to me like that. Yeah. You're not going to act that way towards me, right? Removing yourself from someone else's life. First of all, you got to think. You have like an ego death every time you lose something in your life. So naturally, you remove yourself from anyone's life, they're like, no. Yeah. And like, I could admit that, right? But it is such a power play, right? Being able to just be like, no, I'm good. And however, the other end of that, if you do walk away, you have to be okay with that thing not being there too. You can't walk away and then come back and be like, no, I really want you. So I guess people kind of have to just accept my boundary. I don't really give you a choice on if you're going to accept what I say goes or doesn't, right? Yeah. I'm very understanding, right? I understand, like, everyone has different boundaries, and no one's even supposed to have boundaries. We're supposed to be able to strip every single one of our boundaries and just love freely, because people don't take advantage of it, but people do, sadly, right? And I think the biggest way of expressing boundaries when I'm in a moment of, like, actually being able to, or like needing to, or wanting to, right, is sitting down and just talking to them. If you don't get it that way, you're not going to get it until you go through it, right? If you can't pull empathy out of your ass enough to like understand how someone else feels, and why they're placing a boundary or how they're expressing it, like, again, that's just showing you that person doesn't value you, that person doesn't respect you,
or themselves, really. You can't be present with another individual. Crazy.
Absolutely crazy. And a lot of people have too many boundaries. You can get on both sides. You can be on the side of too many boundaries, or on the side of not any boundaries, right? There's people who have no boundaries because they don't think that they deserve that they are worth that, you know? If I put this boundary up, what if you leave? Like, what if they do? Like, I think we are so fearful as humans of being alone that's probably why our value is so low, truthfully, just because we're scared to be alone. And I think boundaries are going to provide a lot more peace. And you'll probably be alone, mainly in the beginning. When you first start setting boundaries, I feel like everyone leave. But like, that should be the most positive sign to you of like, okay, everything's clearing out. Now it took itself out. We're good. I don't have to do anything, right? That's just your higher self protecting you, really. So just communicate them. You know, hey, you know, you did this and I really didn't like it, and I can't change the past, so you can't get mad about what already happened, but I can ensure my safety and my mental state and whatever going forward. You know, why not doing that? Or mind us talking about it? Or also, what was going through your head when you did it? Because sometimes people just genuinely were not thinking. And we be getting mad because we're like, you did this and you did that, and it's like, no, they probably weren't even thinking about you. And that's okay. That's okay. You could still be a valuable person and not everyone be thinking about you 24/7.
I think that also goes back to just being in control of your own emotions and your actions, because like that sets you apart from a lot of society. It's controlling how you react to things, because you can't control other people. You can try, but it's not gonna go very well for you.
Like, gonna kill yourself trying to do that.
So you have to control how you react. And I was having a conversation recently, and somebody was asking like, well, how do I know like if what they were doing was good or bad? And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Why does it upset you so much? Right?
And I guess that's a part of where people have too much empathy. Is like, is it good or bad? Like, it made you feel a certain type of way. You didn't like it. Obviously, that's not a good experience. Like, no one wants to go through that experience, right? On the other hand of it, though, too, that's a genuine question. What they did, was it actually wrong? A lot of times it's no. We feel a certain type of way. We feel disrespected, but usually that person wasn't disrespectful. You know, we feel hurt. They weren't intentionally ever trying to hurt us. I think that's also, you know, something you start to see when you're building your self-worth and your value, is you really see. You really start to see when people are moving intentionally and doing things, and it's unintentional. Because then you really get to help someone else heal. You get to help them grow and like kind of learn and be like, yo, bro, you know, if I don't get my way and I'm like, and you're like, don't do that. Let's communicate, you know?
Absolutely.
It can be a very balancing and refreshing dynamic for everything. But like I said again, it comes down to you. Are you going to be that person who shows up for you, who can express, you know, this is a boundary of mine, and open up that conversation in a healthy way, in a very, you know, controlling yourself type of way?
I think balance of everything is the key to life. Truthfully.
No too much, no too little.
So, my final question for you. What do we have to look forward for high value, confident Kylie?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think I'm at a spot in my life where it's like I'm not exactly sure what's coming next, but I just know there's so many doors opening. Probably more modeling. I definitely want to go down more of the modeling. Probably maybe a single release or something, just for fun. But you know, I'll definitely be at my parties, having fun, dancing. That's for sure.
I love it, and I'm excited to see your journey of just the real confidence and watching you flourish and be more grounded.
Oh my goodness, I'll probably still be, you know, doing me.
Hey, as you should.
The friend therapist. That's my main role.
Yeah, we need those people though. We really do. We do indeed. Yeah.
Thank you for having me on and letting me talk to all of your people about, you know, high value and self-worth, and us kind of digging at the shadow and the inner child and everything and periods.
Yeah, this was a great conversation. Very well-rounded. I loved it. I loved having you on. Truthfully, I looked and it was already an hour. I was like, dang. That was a very quick hour.
Yeah, that was a quick hour.
Yeah, it's a good flow though. Yeah, so I'm happy that we did this.
Me too.
Do you have any last thoughts, comments, advice?
Thoughts, comments, advice. I say there's a lot of shit going on in the world today. Don't make someone else's life shittier. And don't allow other people to make your life shittier. Go at your own pace. Find your own flow. Find your own rhythm. Anyone who tries to speed you up and pressure you, you usually say goodbye. Anyone holding you back, say goodbye. And you got it. I'm so proud of you. I love you.
Oh, yay. And where can the people find you?
You can find me on all sites at Kylie Ellis, Kiley M, like magical. Ellis, ELLIS. So, yeah, just like TikTok, Twitter. Please don't find my Twitter. Actually, let me go text some stuff over there real quick. But yeah, YouTube, everything.
Yeah, and I'll link all of those. And I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. And go give her a follow.
My goodness, and better like, subscribe, recommend.
Pop out to these parties.
Right. Well, you're going to have more guests coming on soon, eventually, too. So, I'm very excited to see everyone else.
Thank you.
And the conversations.
Me too. No idea.
I can't wait to see where you're at 6 months from now. Because you're kind of in that phase, with that self-worth phase where I was 6 months ago. So, I'll also be very excited to see that, too.
I love it.
Knowing you, it's going to be like 2 weeks from now. She'll be like, exactly where I'm at.
A girl can only hope.